I met Kyle through a mutual friend, and our love of golf and mostly our love of St. Louis really connected us. And his vision for this place was simply to be kind of a mecca for golf sickos, yes, but more than that, it was just building something different in the golf community. Golf was pretty stingy to begin with, and I can proudly say I do not play golf for the stinginess of golf. I play golf to be outside with people and have an excuse to be outside with friends and just hang out and have a good time. Then there's not a lot of that in golf. It's inaccessible for a lot of people, and this just creates a way to access it more easily. It gets you outside more, it gets you with your friends more. I don't think you could have built anything better like this in the golf community.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the Whole Story Podcast. Robby and Jonathan here. Jonathan once again on location. Jonathan, we missed you last week.
Yeah. Well, first of all, sorry I wasn't around last week. Had a family thing that went on, and I'm on location. But let's be honest, Robby, it's not exactly the fun location that you were at last weekend. So why don't you fill in a little bit on your trip to the Midwest?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, before we do that, we got to give a quick little recap, right? So, of this past weekend. So, the LPGA played down at Christy McPherson, one of our previous guests. They played at the course she's working at down in Florida at Pelican, and a familiar named Lillian Vu won again. I mean, it seems like the same folks. They're just, I mean, that's why I think she's the number one player in the world, right? So,
That's right.
and then the men, the PGA won. The Bryan brothers got to play the first time. George Bryan got to play on the PGA Tour and made the cut. He did well. So you had the Bryan brothers, a couple South Carolina guys, teaming up together on the PGA Tour. So that was pretty cool to watch. But it was the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. Of all places, you got to go to Bermuda to play your first PGA event. But another cool story, the winner, Camilo Villegas, he won for the first time in 9 years. But the really cool thing is, yeah, he lost his daughter, I think, a couple years ago. And so it was an emotional win for him, but exciting to see him back in the winner's circle. He's one of the favorites of many of the pros out there. But yeah, so you said I was on location. So this week I traveled to St. Louis. For those that follow the show, remember one of our guests, Kyle Walton. Kyle started a thing called the Gimme Golf Club, and it is a club that is members of multiple clubs. So he did a great thing where folks in St. Louis can join the Gimme Golf Club. They have an indoor facility, which I'll show some videos and photos and stuff. Indoor facilities, so they have hitting bays, they have hangout areas, putting greens, all this fun stuff. I mean, he's a photographer, videographer, so he's like very creative, but he's a gatherer of people. And so he's created this place, but they also partner with local clubs in the St. Louis area, golf clubs. And if you are a member of the Gimme Golf Club, you have access to a lot of these places for either free or very reduced rates because they are, through the Gimme Golf Club, supporting these clubs. So I got to go spend a couple days with him and see the Gimme Golf Club headquarters.
Yeah. So did you use any of the sims out there to see a long drive or play Augusta National?
I did not. They have three TrackMan simulators. I did
Wow.
not. And I was watching some guys. One of the guys I got an interview with, it shows him he was playing on St. Andrews. So, a November day in St. Louis, and you're playing at St. Andrews. It's pretty cool. But no, I did not step up. I putted some, but I did not hit on the simulators.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're in the Midwest in November, and it doesn't sound like there'd be good golf. But and this is my major disappointment for not being able to make it this week. You did get to probably live one of my dreams whenever it comes to golf and baseball coming together, right?
Yes, your favorite team being the St. Louis Cardinals.
St. Louis
Yeah, you've
Cardinals.
grown up, gone to a ton of games, been there recently, seen things. I had driven past the stadium, never been inside, but Upper Deck Golf was at Busch Stadium, the home of the Cardinals. It just so happened to be the time we were there, and so I was able to go with Kyle and Jeff Birch and Rick, one of Kyle's good buddies, and the four of us played upper deck golf inside Busch Stadium. It was quite an experience.
Is that something, like, if it comes to a city near our listeners, is that something you'd be like, take the opportunity, go check it out with some friends? It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, probably an hour and a half, and reasonably priced. And yeah, you're hanging out. They offer beverages, food, different things you can do besides. There were 9 hitting stations, but it's kind of fun. I mean, it's like a Top Golf experience, but the fact, like you said, you're hitting golf balls inside a baseball stadium is pretty cool.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, you did happen to send me a photo. I hit from the wrong side of the tee there, and one of the places you had to like draw a card, and you had to hit left-handed with, I'm assuming, a right-handed club hooded over differently, right?
No, so you were allowed to take your own clubs. I think you could take from a sand wedge to an 8-iron, which
Okay.
we just used. I think we just used sand wedge and pitching wedge the whole time. But yeah, so a game out there, many of you would know, is the Bad Cards for Good Golfers, and they had, at one of the holes, you drew a card, and if you got it inside the circle with whatever challenge was on the card, you would win a deck of cards. A couple of the guys had to grunt like a tennis player. I think it was Serena Williams. They had to grunt while hitting. I think Jeff Birch had to pause his backswing at the top for 5 seconds, which, throws off your timing. And then, of course, I draw the hit left-handed club, and it was not good. It one-hopped out of the bleachers onto the field. But no, they did have a left-handed club that I was able to use. Not very well, though.
Last night, the group I was with, we did actually get to play sort of golf. We were at a track, man, but only right-handed clubs were available. So I started swinging right-handed. I could hit it about 85, 100 yards right-handed, and then we played against the other guys, me and another lefty, but we just turned the clubs over. So my best drive was 211 yards with a 5-iron turned upside down. So it was a fun night. Not again.
Nope. Nobody got hurt.
It was a fun night, but not Busch Stadium fun. So
yeah, I sent you a couple pictures. I feel bad you weren't there, but next time, okay. Right? Next time.
Well, hey, listen, now that I know this thing exists, it's absolutely going to be next time. I've already looked to see if it's in Atlanta. They don't come to Atlanta yet. So
yep.
If they come to Atlanta, we'll go somewhere close. So besides going back and hanging out with Kyle and some of the guys there, talk about some of the people our listeners are going to hear in just a few minutes, some of the folks that you got to interview and some new folks that we're going to get to meet too.
Yeah, so I was able, while I was there visiting Gimme Golf, I mean, I think it opens at 10 in the morning. They're open 6 days a week, and they have skins nights on, I think, Tuesday through Thursdays. Actually, this coming weekend, we're going to air this on Thursday like normal. This coming weekend is their member tournament. They call it Fall Ball. So they're really excited, gearing up for that. But it's just a place where people can go and gather. Yeah, there's I guess the reciprocal things, the membership where you can get to go play at other courses, play out on the grass, but the actual clubhouse itself, and there's 2. There's the OG right there in St. Charles, and then they have the South House as well, a second location. But it's just a place where people can gather. And so we were there, it was middle of the day during lunchtime, and guys were taking their lunch break to come out and hit some golf balls. And so I got to interview a few of the guys, a couple of them that I think member number 3 and member number 18. Right. And it's really cool. One of the guys that I talked to, like, they had just moved to St. Charles. They saw the logo go up on the building right when it was opening, and the guy's wife said, "Hey, that's at golf. You should go join." And I think he said it was an early Father's Day gift. So he's been there for a while, loves it. He actually had just gotten his first hole-in-one, so he shares that story. But yeah, I've got a few stories from some of the guys there. A guy named Lance that works there and is a member as well. Just really cool to see all the people that are involved in this thing, and they love it. And Kyle and the folks that he works with, they've done a great job of building a community and building a place where people want to gather because they love golf.
All right, well, let's check those out, and we'll see everybody on the other side of the interviews.
All right, so tell me your name.
My name's Sean Campbell.
Okay, Sean. Where are you from? Here in St. Louis?
Yeah, from all over St. Louis. Just moved to St. Charles about 2 years ago and jumped straight into Gimme Golf.
Okay, so tell us about your experience with Gimme Golf.
Yeah, it's been really great. Honestly, didn't know about it. Drove by the week that they opened and saw the awesome logo on the window, and it said the word golf, and my wife caught it, and she urged me to join, and joined pretty much that day for a Father's Day gift.
That's great, man. So she was the one that enjoyed or encouraged you to do it. So very nice. Does she play golf as well?
She played high school golf, doesn't play a ton now, but I've got a 3-year-old that's really into the game, comes up and plays a lot in the simulator.
Okay.
I think he's got a pretty advanced swing, probably better than mine already. But, yeah.
Describe the Gimme Golf community.
Community is excellent for many reasons. Part of it's that it's anyone from a 30 handicap to like +5. So you really get all types. You can play with, before I joined, I would play with 2 or 3 people, and now I've got, 70, 80 people that I play with regularly throughout the year. And it's just a great community full of high vibes and never tearing each other down, and a lot of competitiveness, but in a respectful way.
Okay. And how about the clubhouse here? Tell us about that.
Yeah, Clubhouse is great. It's all TrackMan simulators, which I'm a data nerd, so I really dive deep into the numbers. A lot of guys I've seen come up here and really improve their game and keep their game tight through all winter. My story personally is that when I joined, I was like a 10.5 handicap, and now I'm at 2.8, just a little bit over 2 years later, which is a pretty big increase because, as you get the lower numbers, it gets a lot harder to climb. And all of that is due to not only playing outside with the Gimme members, but also the TrackMan.
Okay. And recent hole-in-one, tell us about that.
Yeah, hole-in-one yesterday, actually, 13th at Florissant, plays. It's about 162 playing 175 uphill. 7-iron, landed about 10 feet on, about 4 yards right of the hole, which was exactly where it needed to go because it's a back left pin. And it rolled right past the closest to the pin marker that was 1 foot in front of the pin. So very lucky. Didn't think it was in for a single second. Looked for the ball when we got up to the green for a little bit because really didn't consider it to go in, and found a yellow Pro V1 that I started playing on the first hole that day. So now I had to play yellow Pro V1 for the rest of my life.
Very nice. Was that your first?
First real one, yeah. And glad to mark it off so I don't have to think about it every single time that I step up to a par 3 going forward.
There you go. Congratulations, man. Well, thanks for giving us some thoughts on Gimme.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I'm on 11. So.
Number 11 at the old course. Tell me your name.
Adam Rocky.
Adam?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. So I got 173, no wind.
Very nice. On.
That's the key in here is hitting greens.
Yeah.
So that's it's really kind of changed the way I practice, and hit to the middle a lot more, and it's allowed me to score a little bit more consistently. And
does that translate well when you go out to the course?
Yeah, if I take this game with me and I try not to get too aggressive, and but yeah, this is where I kind of sharpen that aspect of kind of the course management piece.
Yeah. And
obviously get to see a lot of great golf courses too.
Okay. So. How long have you been part of Gimme?
What's that?
How long have you been part of Gimme?
I'm number 18. So
number 18.
From the very beginning.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I actually knew Kyle before he started the venture, and when he told me about the idea, I said, 100% I'm in, I'll support you any way I can. And it starts with being a member and being here and being part of the community, and so it's been a lot of fun.
So tell me about the community piece. I know y'all do like skins nights and things like that.
Yeah, so for me, it's I'm just in a part of life that doesn't allow me to join a country club and be able to commit to being able to play every weekend or a couple times a week or whatever it takes to make that worth it. And so I still wanted the community, and I still was craving that. So this is the perfect mix for me. I can play. Sometimes it's a quick 18 during the day. Sometimes it's coming in here for skins night. when I can actually get away when the kids don't have practice, something like that. And so this was, you know, the answer for me in having community and not being able to quite, you know, pull the trigger on joining a traditional golf club. So.
Perfect. Well, man, we appreciate you taking time to do it. Didn't mean to. I've got Dave Lemon here. We are in the Gimme Clubhouse. Member number 3 out here.
Member number 3. I'll tell you, I don't know how that came to be. It was just I showed up first, I guess. You know.
All right. So tell me about the Gimme community.
I think that last word describes it, right? When people try to build a community, it doesn't really work. Whenever you make something that everybody already wants and everybody already is doing, the community will show up anyways. Just give them a place to hang out, and this just happens to be that place to hang out, right?
Talk to us about Kyle and kind of what he's built, his vision, and how that's still come together after all these years.
Yeah, so I met Kyle through a mutual friend, and our love of golf and mostly our love of St. Louis really connected us. And his vision for this place was simply to be kind of a mecca for golf sickos, yes, but more than that, it was just building something different in the golf community. Golf was pretty stingy to begin with, and I can proudly say I do not play golf for the stinginess of golf. I play golf to be outside with people and have an excuse to be outside with friends and just hang out and have a good time. Then there's not a lot of that in golf. It's inaccessible for a lot of people, and this just creates a way to access it more easily. It gets you outside more, it gets you with your friends more. I don't think you could have built anything better like this in the golf community.
Okay, so you talk about the community, you talk about getting together with friends, and we talk about on our podcast all the time, it's not about where you play, how you play,
yeah.
It's about who you're with, right? The 4 or 5 hours
100%.
you're going to hang out, maybe a little longer, maybe a little shorter. What would you tell somebody if they were considering it? Because Gimme's about to open up a larger national reach. What would you tell somebody that might be considering being a part of Gimme?
Yeah, as far as that national reach goes, we live in a very kind of virtual world today as well. Rather than just our physical locations and, here in St. Charles and in Fenton, the national chain, more than just like the trips we take to OBX just recently or Landman or down at Sweetens Cove, and somehow you're in different parts of the world, the accessibility to these types of golf courses and these types of golf sickos around the world, there's not a big place for them to get together virtually or get together in different ways rather than physically, and I think that's kind of what we're building here as well. There is a need and a desire for us golf heads to connect in different parts of the world, and I think this is it.
Awesome. Lemon, thanks, man.
Yeah, of course, it's a pleasure.
I mean, how did you first hear about Gimme, Lance? What was your first interaction with Gimme? I know.
Big Graves, baby.
Big Graves, baby, yeah. So Lance played in the first round we ever had as Gimme Golf Club, but he wasn't a member yet. He was still. Yeah, he's in the picture. It was Lance, Vernon, Kyle, Witherby, and Kenny Riley. No, those they were the first 4 out.
Oh, I thought she was in the picture.
No, not in the first 4. But Lance and Vernon weren't members yet. It was just Kyle and Kenny, and they were like hesitant. And then Lance joined, and then Lance wore out the membership for like a hot second.
It was funny because I was late off work.
he ate up a lot of rounds.
I played a lot of golf when I was late off. Dropped the handicap, right? So
he did. Absolutely. He dropped the handicap, got good, and then started telling everybody that he was playing golf without paying for it, and probably signed up more members than anybody. He was a huge ambassador for the club. And then he had a moment where he got his car broken into, and all of his clubs got stolen. And I hadn't really met Lance yet, but I knew I had connections in the golf world, so I put up a GoFundMe, and we raised about $4,000 in like no time at all. And basically got
like a half a day.
Yeah, got his club styled, got your car fixed, I think. Got his car fixed.
Started the addiction.
Yeah.
The Kenny any clubs?
Yeah, got his car fixed, got his clubs dialed, and he became, it was just like a fun story of like the community coming together for the first time. And then he was our first employee. Then we hired him on as our first employee. Been with us ever since. Absolutely. Been with us ever since.
So what's the best thing about Gimme Golf Club for you?
Just the camaraderie of everybody in the club. Like there's no, you got different skill sets of all people. You got your high handicappers, your low handicappers. But in all, we all come together and have a good time.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like, for whatever reason, our good players don't care if they're playing with bad players, and our bad players are okay playing with good players, and everybody kind of has the right idea about what's trying to be accomplished.
Everyone only.
Everyone only.
What's your favorite Gimme Golf Club experience?
Got to be the golf or the Camp Gimme trips. This last one was my second time on an airplane ever.
Second time on an airplane. First time being in the ocean since you were six. So we did some adventuring.
Did you land in the ocean?
No, we didn't get.
We tried it. We were gonna throw him in, but we couldn't. We didn't have time.
I don't
you off.
I don't swim.
He doesn't swim.
There's no life jackets.
He sinks. He sinks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Joining us again, he's not a unfamiliar face to the Whole Story podcast, Kyle Walton with Gimme Golf. Kyle, appreciate you being here. I got to spend, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, to spend a few days with Kyle and some of the folks there. It's just a great, unbelievable, really, atmosphere. You heard the word community mentioned so many times with the people I got to talk to. So, Kyle, thank you for the hospitality. I think that's just natural for what you guys do. You got a busy week. This week you've got, obviously your skins game every, Tuesday through Thursday. And then you've got your fall ball event. It's kind of the members event, that you kick off your, one of your seasons here. But, one thing I really wanted to get you just to tell everybody about, is something new starting Friday, the International Collective of the Gimme Golf Club. So tell us about that.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for hanging out. I'm glad we had a good time. I'm glad we had some weather. We were able to play a little golf, and you were able to sort of see, what's going on here in St. Louis. I think I know you get to talk to a couple members, and they, I didn't mean to have the right people in the room when I did, but you got to meet some pretty good guys and some guys who've been pretty instrumental in growing this club. So I was really glad you got to chat with them because there's only so much we can do around here. It's our members that really make this thing go and sort of buy into, all the ideas that Gimme Golf Club is. So thanks for taking time to chat with them and for hanging out with us. So the collective as a whole is its simplest states probably just a national membership, right? We basically have had a lot of people reach out to us via social media or email to just say that they wish they had a community like that in their hometown, or they really love the idea, or they love the branding, or they love, whatever, insert whatever kind of compliment that they want to give to Gimme, but then they sort of are just like, how could I be involved? Right. So like this, I can't join. I'm not going to pay $125 a month or, $200 a month to be a member of your club, because they wouldn't be able to experience the full benefits of that because they don't live locally. So, but they want to be involved or sort of, touch it in some way or support us in some way. So, we basically on Friday, we're just going to roll out our national membership, our international collective, or whatever you want to call it, our, fun design we got to make. And, and put it out there into the world. And what it's going to be is, probably $150, $160. And, we're going to give you a gift every single year. You're going to get a member number and a bag tag to support, what we're up to. We do a lot of merch drops throughout the year. So we're going to give early access, same access that any member would have to those merchandise drops. And then we have, these traveling camps that we go to a couple times a year that we can reserve a few spots for national members to be able to have access to. We have a member right now and coming up, that if somebody did want to come in from out of town to participate in, that would be a fantastic thing to see happen. Member guests in the summertime. So just a lot of events, a lot of things that help build our community and help, us sort of tell that Gimme story. Like, we want to be able to have people be a part of that. And so that's sort of what we're trying to roll out. It's not like a huge announcement, like we're just going to have it up, we're going to do a post about it, but it's really just as people continue to learn about us, it's just an easy way for them to support us, with their dollars and with their support.
Yeah, I think it, like you said, it's just another way to build a little bit larger community. And things that I kept hearing over and over from folks was, I drove by, saw a cool logo, saw the word golf, and wanted to check out what it was going on, or my friend told me about it and I had to be a part of it. And so I think having the opportunity to do that on a national scale, one would, allow folks, here in South Carolina or wherever you might be, like you said, feel part of something and get to do some pretty cool stuff. Because I mean, one, you got some great gear, hats and hoodies and t-shirts and all that fun stuff. But to go participate in a gimme camp, y'all just went to Outer Banks, so doing something like that would be a lot of fun. So I would highly encourage anyone out there that wants to be a part of a community like Gimme Golf, check it out. The launch is Friday, and it's just great folks to be a part of.
Yeah, man. And again, thank you for taking the time to sort of put us on. Like, we're proud of what we're building here. The whole concept itself's kind of removed itself from like me and Kenny, my business partner, and it's taken on its own thing. We have 400 and almost 450 members here now in St. Louis, and we will grow at some point, and that's another sort of point of this whole collective is, let's get some small pockets of collective members, of national members in different places that can get together and have a potluck skins game, or have a place for merch, or have some meetups, so that we can sort of continue to see where the support is, and if it ever makes sense to grow into another community or another state or another part of the country. Like, this is one way that we can sort of have a warm lead, if you will, or an opportunity to sort of meet people that like what we're trying to do. So
yeah,
thanks for telling us. Thanks for telling our story. We appreciate it. Thanks for coming and hanging out. And Collective will go live on Friday at some point, probably in the morning. I'm not really sure, but it'll be on the website. It'll just be a membership option on our website. And looking forward to sort of adding this new section to our club, and sort of welcoming
some people, distant cousins.
Yeah, welcoming some people from different areas. So absolutely.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Well, highly encourage you guys to check it out. Kyle, as always, thanks, man. You're a good one, and people are gathering to you because they just like you, and it's been fun to hang out, and keep wishing you all the best of luck.
Thanks, Robby. Appreciate it.
Man, thanks. Yep. All right. Those are some great chats. I hope you guys appreciated it as much as I did. Jonathan, again, we've got to get you back up there. One, just to see Busch Stadium again, but two, to hang out at Gimme Golf. Kyle and the team have done a great job. Jonathan, what did you think about what you saw there?
Well, I mean, what Kyle has done is exactly what we talk about. Golf isn't even necessarily where you're playing because it's inside a building somewhere, but rather just the folks that you're hanging out with. And honestly, I kind of got to experience that last night. First TrackMan, first experience really doing something like that. And it was almost more fun than being on a golf course because you didn't have to walk around. You weren't tired. And you just and it was okay to make fun of people while they're in their backswing. So it sounds like what Kyle's doing up there is great. And as you kind of saw just a second ago, Robby, why don't you just kind of promote one more time what Kyle's doing, not only in the St. Louis area, but also around the country?
Yeah, so well, it's an international collective, right? So like he was talking about, there's opportunities for, if you want to be a part of the Gimme Golf Club and you don't live in the St. Louis area, there's ways to be involved, because they do member trips. They just did one to Outer Banks recently, but they do member trips, they do gatherings, things like that. It allows you to get some of their merchandise. Check out the International Collective. Today's podcast being aired on Thursday, goes live tomorrow, so check that out. But it was an amazing time. We really appreciate Kyle for the invitation to come out there. like we talk about as fun, Jonathan, about who you play golf with, but you and I, we keep saying, like, everybody we've interviewed, it feels like we've become good friends with, and Kyle is no different. It's been fun. I got to hang out with him at Landman here in St. Louis, and there'll be plenty more, hopefully soon.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, so far I feel like I'd be willing to walk 9 holes with pretty much anyone. If you'd like to be the first jerk that we've ever interviewed and we wouldn't want to be friends with, please let us know. Maybe we'll get you on the show here. So one more trip that Robby got to go on that I unfortunately wasn't able to make. Maybe next year I'll be able to sneak in a few more. But for everyone listening this week on the Whole Story Podcast, we appreciate you, and we'll catch you next week.